This really is like stepping back in time. You can see the buzz of excitement, and soon we'll be able to hear the rumble of it as the cars get ready for the RAC TT. Let's join the commentators one last time for the big finale.
This is indeed the big race of the weekend.
Yes, the Tourist Trophy came to Goodwood in the late 1950s, and these are GT cars as they raced here in the early 1960s.
Bobby Verden-Rowe starting on pole position. We've got Rob Hall in the Cobra on the middle of the front row, and Justin Law in the Lister Jaguar on the outside of that front row. All set to start. The 1 hour race, 2 drivers. Who's it going to be off the line? And it's a great start on the outside from Justin Law, and everybody gets off the line cleanly. That's always good to see. And it is that number 17 car of Justin Law that snatches the advantage. Rob Hall in the Cobra is in second place. Bobby Verden-Rowe in third. We got cars running wide as ever. But what a collection of cars this is. £250 million worth of machinery on track. And you're riding on board with Bobby Verden-Rowe. He's in third place, chasing down the 2 leaders. Got the AC Cobra and the Lister Jag just ahead. And we're looking at Bobby now as he looks composed in his attempt. But it's Rob Hall in the white AC Cobra who snatches the advantage.
Yes, V8 torque and horsepower against 6-cylinder twin-cam Jaguar power. And it's the American cubic inches that are working best now.
But Justin Law's not giving up on that lead. Look, he's trying to come back down the outside. Bobby Verden-Rowe's looking to slide the Ferrari down in between them. Can't do it as yet. And Rob Hall powers that Cobra. And it's sliding all the time, even through the kink there. And also catching up in the background, Adrian Newey in his E-Type. He's in 4th place. On board with Bobby Verden-Rowe, and he's going for 2nd place, and he's done it. He's gone into 2nd position now, and the Ferrari is flying. He's chasing that Cobra.
Yes, the Cobra, an American pushrod V8. The Ferrari, of course, need you ask, V12 with lots of valves and camshafts.
Up towards the chicane, and Justin Law in 3rd place. We're riding with him. Watch him through here, threading the needle through the chicane, and he does it beautifully. But right behind him is Adrian Newey in the E-Type, and look how close Adrian Newey's getting now. He's surely going to have a go at getting past as they come up to the first corner at Madgwick. He's down the inside, but Justin Law stays around the outside. This is hard racing, no matter how much these cars are worth.
The Red Bull Formula One guru knows how to make an old E-Type go quickly as well, but he's being threatened by the low-line Ferrari GTO coming through. That's Peter Hardman in number 18.
Yeah, look how hard he's trying. That car is moving about all over the place. And Peter Hardman is a very experienced, very rapid driver. Oh, and a big slide there as well from Bobby Verden-Rowe in 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th then following through St Mary's. Back on board with Bobby Verden-Rowe, challenging for the lead with that Cobra. But the big V8-powered white machine is just ahead at the moment. Out onto the straight. They've got to get through the kink here. Sliding all the way as they do so. Then Adrian Newey still under pressure from Peter Hardman.
They call it the Goodwood Revival because this really is reviving what these races looked like in the early 1960s. Those of us who are old enough to remember know that this is exactly how close the racing was in period.
Oh, Peter Hardman just popping out of the slipstream, but the car moving around an awful lot. Oh, and again he's sliding his way through Woodcote up towards the chicane. Is he going to go for the lunge up the inside? No, not really enough space to do that. Ollie Bryant's in another Cobra, not far behind him. He's in the red and gold machine. Let's just take a look at the start once again, and Justin Law got off the line perfectly.
Yes, 2 black lines of rubber from where Justin Law was on the outside of the front row, vaulting into the lead into Madgwick Corner.
Battle for the lead. Bobby Verden-Rowe is going for it, trying to get past the Cobra. Can he do it? No, he can't. Rob Hall defends mightily, and there's no way through at the moment. Meanwhile, in the pits, there's problems there for Barry Williams, but they've sent him on his way once again. Meanwhile, Martin Brundle in the Ferrari here, closing up on Ludovic Caron. We're on board with Martin Brundle. This is the 250 GTO.
Yes, the car that belongs to Nick Mason. He's owned it for many years. He bought it for £17,000 about 30 years ago. He's since turned down 7 figures for it.
Wow. Well, Martin Brundle will be sharing this car with Mark Hales, and we're getting into that time where the drivers will be swapping over. Meanwhile, Martin wants to try and take this place, if possible, from Ludovic Caron in that AC Cobra. Plenty of Cobras throughout the field. A big old gear stick. It's a bit different to the sequential shift we have nowadays, Simon.
Well, these Cobras have a lot of grunt. Martin Brundle, much more experienced than Ludwig Caron, and the Ferrari holds the road better than the AC with its transverse kart springing. But the horsepower and the torque of the Cobra is still keeping it ahead of the hard-working Martin Brundle.
Oh, and we've got a car off! Oh my goodness, that's the Adrian Newey car, but it's Bobby Rahal in the car now. They've swapped earlier than some of the others. It looks as though he's lost a wheel, Simon.
Yes, clearly the right rear wheel came off just as he was going up to the start of St Mary's. He's unhurt, he's out of the car, but isn't that Bobby Verden-Rowe stopping?
Oh, I think you're right. So the challenger for the lead in this race, Bobby Verden-Rowe, he dropped to third, but he was still very much in that fight, and he's out of the race, and that's a great shame. So this is the race for the lead now. It is Rob Hall in the Cobra with Peter Hardman trying to get past him. He's got alongside. Hardman takes the lead, but he goes off. He's on the grass. Oh my goodness. All this value in this car being thrown onto the grass and into the field. Thankfully, he hasn't actually hit anything. But that was truly dramatic, going off in the area where the E-Type had gone off a moment ago. Well, he's driving through the cornstalks, but that incident at the E-Type has brought the safety car out, in period, of course, and a dramatic accident for Peter Hardman.
Yes, Hardman tried to go down the inside under braking for the left-hander of St Mary's, left his braking too late. Fortunately, the Cobra was able to miss him as he went off to the right-hand side in the Anthony Bamford 250 GTO Ferrari, spun with no damage, fortunately, to that wonderful car.
Now he's come into the pits and switched to Jean-Marc Cournot. Meanwhile, problems for the Ross Warburton Derek Bell car in the pits there as well. But driver changes being taking place here. And Jean-Marc Cournot, who's taken over from Peter Hardman, has actually gained an advantage, ironically. Hardman went off, came in the pits to check the car over, and actually they came in at the perfect time. So they've got themselves a very useful advantage out in front. Into the pits comes the number 30 E-Type, Oliver Gavin, handing over to Mark Clubb. On track, though, Anthony Reid has now taken over the number 17 car from Justin Law. And Simon, he's on something of a charge here.
He is, Anthony Reid, carving his way through the field. There are a lot of slower cars to get by, three abreast down into the chicane, but somehow Anthony Reid passes both those cars and comes out in front.
Well, he's on such a charge, he's now trying to get into third place. Jim Richards, the Aussie touring car legend in the Cobra, can't do anything about Anthony Reid coming through. He's into third place. Beautiful piece of driving from the touring car star of the past, a Le Mans racer as well, Reid. And now he's going chasing after the top two. Look how hard he's working the car.
Yes, using a bit of grass coming out of the chicane there.
Michael Wilkinson's got off into the gravel trap. I'm not sure he's going to get it back out of there. Let's see how he did it.
Yes, Michael Wilkinson trying to squeeze past the number 7 Aston Martin DB4 GT of Rano Eltonen. Eltonen stayed on the track just in the cloud of rubber smoke, but Wilkinson was off.
Meanwhile, this is Jean-Marc Cournot, and he has a very comfortable advantage, having taken over from Peter Hardman at what turned out to be the perfect time after Peter'd got on the grass. Now this is the race for second place, and it's getting close. Nicolas Minassian now in the Cobra number 1, and Anthony Reid trying to get past the Peugeot Works driver. Well, this is a little different to what Nicolas is usually racing, but he's putting up a tremendous fight.
Well, on the long straight, the Cobra has more grunt than the Lister Jaguar, but the Lister Jaguar is so quick through the corners.
Well, we're on the last lap, and Jean-Marc Cournot's heading towards the line, squeezing by the wall, but he has taken victory in the number 18 Ferrari with Peter Hardman. A superb performance by the team there. And what's going to happen in this race for second place? Nicolas Minassian has the Cobra ahead of Anthony Reid, and I think he's going to stay there. Powers his way out of the chicane, and Anthony Reid, despite all his efforts, can't quite take second, but it's still been a stunning drive from him. So a comfortable win for Jean-Marc Cournot and Peter Hardman, while Nicolas Minassian fended off Anthony Reid, and Aussie legend Jim Richards brought the Cobra, started by Rob Hall, into fourth place, and Martin Brundle and Mark Hell's Ferrari was fifth. Let's hear from our winners.
It was too easy, and I wanted to show to the people around the track that I was so happy. Also, I made a little show, and I am very happy for Sir Anthony Bamford, because he's doing every year this race with this car, which is such a wonderful car, and it's the first time we achieved to win the race. Last year was nearly done, and this year we achieved it with Peter. Also, I'm very happy for all the team.
I really enjoyed the race. I hadn't done a start before in the car, but I just thought once we get away, we just got to pick everybody off. And it was all right. I just sat and waited, and then got into third, caught the other two up, and they were sort of holding each other up a little bit. Got past Bobby, and I got the lead actually just before I came in, but ended up on the grass. I think Jean-Marc was copying me actually. The car